All right, so the pads, good quality sound. I missed that pad there. Let's see. Hey. This is my review on the Elektron model cycles.
Traptendo.
So I'm really excited I finally got this. Pre-ordering this thing was ridiculous because it was sold out almost everywhere, and I finally got in with the plug, and I really do appreciate you guys for that. I'm gonna keep my plug to myself this video, but other than that though, the model cycles is an FM synth drum machine slash groove box slash synthesizer, and it costs $300. So you can see right then and there, if you are a gearhead, that is a pretty good value, and you know, we want to check it out and see what it can do. So let's do that. So the aisles of this thing are pretty simple, like the ins and outs here. So you have a 1/4" jack in headphone jack, and then you also have 2 1/4" jacks for your left and right signal paths, and they are mono bass. And I know a lot of people might have an issue with that when it comes to Elektron, but nonetheless, I actually like it like that because they have some really good stuff going for them with that, and it's such a minor thing to talk about the ADDAs like that. But other than that though, you also have this plug right here. Of course, you got to plug it up to a wall because it does not take batteries. They do have a battery pack coming out, but we already know how it is right now with the coronavirus, and it's going to be very difficult for that to come in. So yeah, kind of a misstep, whatever. So here's the model cycles in the flesh here, and I do like the form factor is really small, just like the model samples. Not much has changed except this right here is not sample based. It is synthesizer based, FM synthesis to be exact, and it carries all of the dope stuff that the model samples could do, except now you have more flexibility, and I think that's why it's hitting off very well with a lot of people. So one thing I want to talk about here is the different sound engines that you have here. So if I was to press this menu button over here, which is the drum menu, you can go and cycle through different chords, tones, perks, metal, snares, kicks. So you have a lot to work with here. One thing I can say that they focused on, and it's good. So if you are intimidated by FM synthesis, then you don't have to worry about much because it's not that many different controls here. So you have pitch. Let me go ahead and get out of that screen here. Get out of the screen. There we go. And you have decay. You also can make the envelope longer, so you can add sustain by pressing this button right here. And yeah, you can do some really crazy stuff. I don't know if I should get into it. You have then you have like your synthesis knobs too as well, like color. And then you have shape, which when you're in the chord engine, it changes the different scales. right? And then you have sweep. That's where you start to change a little bit of stuff. I know with FM synthesis, you do have different ratios and different algorithms that are laid out for FM synthesis, but you don't really have to worry about that. They kind of just simplified it and made it like random. If you really want that type of depth, then you have the digitone and contour. You also can send different delays and stuff like that to sounds. And you just mess with the delay time. And reverb. Change the size. So you can hear some of its potential that it has. And that's one thing I like. You have LFO speed over here, which correlates with the LFO button. And when you go into this LFO screen, you are able to change different features. Of course, you can change the different shape of the LFO. You can change the multitude. You can change the stain. You can change the depth of it, of course, which will just give you a certain amount. And then you can dial in the LFO speed, of course, with this knob. But also, that's when it brings you to these, because you do see a function button. That's when you can start deep diving into a lot of the menu buttons over here. But before we even get into that, I'm going to continue with the knobs, because these knobs are very important to whatever you're going to do production-wise on this thing right here. So you also have the volume over here, which works as like distortion, if I'm not mistaken. That menu. Give you a little bit more of a digital crunch there. That's really cool. But you also have swing too, which I will have to show you by playing the track again. So let's go ahead and hear that track. Turn it down here. One thing I want to talk about is this track button, which if you hold the track button down, you get to control all 6 of your tracks at once, which is important during performances. And I turn down the swing here on all the tracks, so you can hear it. You can do that individual of your tracks too as well. Last but not least, the chance knob. The chance knob in itself is ridiculous. So play it again. I'm gonna dial in some chance here. It's gonna change the overall performance. So you have a little bit more to work with here. Then you can turn it up back up. Also, there is retriggering too as well, which you can do on here, and I think that alone is dope. So you do track mutes by pressing the function, so you can mute the tracks, and then you just get all kinds of craziness here. Talking about the sounds here, because I know people are going to ask about the sound, so I'm just going to go right into the menu over here to factory and go into the folder here by using this data knob. So going into this menu here, you have 80 bass drums that you can pick from your presets. And then you have about 7 claps, 10 cymbals, oops. And then you have effects that you can pick from, 34 effects pre-made. Then you have hi-hats, you have 61 hi-hats. You have 32 percussion. You have 7 rim shots. You have 62 snares, juicy number. Synthesizer sounds, you have 205 of them. Holy crap. And then I believe this is toms. You have 13 toms, and that's it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to access this pattern button, and then you're going to see all the different patterns pull up. What I can do is just select a pattern over here, 2 is my current pattern. So I'm gonna go over here to number 5 here. All right, Elektron here. So you can clear that pattern, which I want to do by pressing function and clear. And now I don't have anything in here. So if I press play again, nothing. Yeah, it's a little loud, so I'm gonna go ahead and adjust that for you guys. A little bit higher. All right, and you can adjust the BPM, of course. That would be crazy if you couldn't adjust your BPM. So all you have to do is just hit this button right here. It's at 180. And I'm gonna go ahead and do something a little bit. Matter of fact, I guess I'll do 65. If I press play, you don't hear anything. It's gonna be very difficult to record, of course. So it is a click function that you have. You just press function and then this button right here, which is the sustain envelope. So basically you have a metronome now and you can turn on the pre-count, and that's one of those things that everybody wants, right, when you're recording. So I just exit out, make sure that you hit record and play. You can choose to quantize and unquantize. You just tap the play button as you hold record, and that will choose unquantize, and then you can quantize later. I did another beat, of course, and I really like this beat too. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce everything in here. So you can hear from the basic sounds that it's pretty damn diverse. Like, this is a really diverse machine just to be like $300, which is the killer right there. That's the price point for this, and it's so far so good. So tell me how you feel about this, guys. Please leave a comment below. I definitely want to hear from you guys and see how you feel about this review, and also how you feel about the Elektron model cycles altogether. And my pros for this machine is that it is very feature packed for something this small, this portable, this light, and it has a huge sound at that. And I know a lot of people might be down on Elektron when it comes down to, I don't know, the mono features and the mono poly MIDI, which I thought to myself was like, oh man, it'd be great if it could be polyphonic, because the sequencer, again, Elektron shines at making a very good sequencer. I do know of other products that do go polyphonic, but if I talk about the Korg Electribe in this video, it just won't make sense, because even then, when it was a polyphonic unit, it didn't play polyphonic all the time, and you know, that's for another story, for another video. But other than that though, I think that Elektron put that in consideration, and then also they have the digitone, which is polyphonic, and it's very powerful, and it just continues on the great features that this has, and makes me really want that. But unfortunately, I probably won't be getting that. Again, this will be my last unit that I get from Elektron, unfortunately, but nonetheless, I have quite enjoyed it. Do I give this the stamp of approval? Elektron, I think you did a really good job with this unit. I'll be hating if I said no. Good job.